Hello, and welcome to Portable Vegan. In this episode, I'm going to talk about how much weight that I lost switching to a raw vegan diet. In that amount of time, I've lost 20 pounds. As you can see in my jeans that I'm wearing right now, these are the jeans that I wore before I switched to my diet. And I didn't even need a belt when I originally wore these, but now they're basically falling off of me. So, when I switched to a raw vegan diet after I decided which foods gave me energy and which foods didn't, I transitioned into eating a more plant-based diet. At that point, I was eating 20 bananas a day, 2 pineapples, 4 to 6 kiwis, and an apple. And then when I get home, I'd eat a cup of rice. Now, as I've been raw vegan since May, I am now at 150 pounds. I started at 170, and now I eat 30 bananas a day, a large salad, and a cup of rice. When I first started transitioning, I worked a very sedentary job. I'd be sitting down for 40 to 50 hours a week at my booth working. They didn't let us get up much. It was just you were at your booth and that's where you were. So 40 to 50 hours a week, I was sitting down and I was losing weight on this diet. So it was phenomenal. And I was really surprised that the weight just gradually was shedding off of me. I'd be up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get to work by 5, and I'm not a morning person at all. So when I first started this job, I was eating a standard American diet, and it was really hard for me to get up in the morning. And as I began to realize what foods worked for me and which foods didn't, and started introducing more bananas into my diet and more produce, I started realizing like how much it helped me to be able to wake up in the morning. When I was learning what foods worked for me and which foods didn't, I would start the morning with oatmeal. I figured, hey, oatmeal, it's dense, it's rich, it's great, and I'll put some bananas and some strawberries in it. And I started realizing that when I woke up and ate oatmeal, I was really exhausted. So I was like, I don't have time to make it this one day. I'm just going to eat the bananas and strawberries that I would put in it anyway. And I ate the bananas and the strawberries, and I was just wide awake. And I was like, whoa, what is that? So I started really realizing that produce was really where it was at. I started going to work for 10 hours a day, and normally I'd be exhausted after. And when I'd come home eating this way, eating a raw till 4 diet, I would be so energized. I would want to go for an hour bike ride or go for an hour jog. Things I would never do. Like I hadn't done any running since I was in high school. They tell us to run the mile or run laps in high school. I graduated high school in 2007, and now that it's 2013, like I started to jog and have energy enough to go biking, which was it wasn't like me at all. So I started being more active just because I had so much energy from the foods I was eating. One of my coworkers at the time, who was Paleo Primal, he wanted to go for a run with me, and he does jujitsu, and from what I saw of him, he looked a lot more fit than me, because I was 170 pounds, still had quite a bit of weight that I gained on me still, and I just started eating a raw vegan diet, and quite frankly, I'd only biked or jogged maybe 3 or 4 times before I decided to go for a run with them. So after work, we went to the park and we decided to go for a jog. And I was like, man, I hope I can keep up with him because he's a lot more fit than me. He's a lot more thinner than me, and he does jujitsu, so he's active, and I'm not that active. So we went for a run, and I'm running, and he's telling me to slow up because he can't keep up with me, and I'm like, man, I thought I'd be having to keep up with him. So we're running at a gradual pace, and he has to stop several times, and I'm like, I want to keep going, but I stay behind with him and keep running, and we get to the point where we're towards the end of our run, and he's like, let's just go all out. So like I'm running like my heart out, and like it's great. It's great getting some air in my lungs and just really getting sweat on. And we get to the end of it, and he's behind me, and he gets to the water fountain, and he is breathing, heaving his lungs out, and it sounds like his lungs are going to come out of his chest. He's breathing so hard. And I he was like, "Oh, we need to stop." And I'm like, "Dude, you need to keep moving because you can't just go from running full on to stopping. You got to at least continue to walk. Let's just go for a light walk." And he couldn't have it in him, so I had to really get him to walk it out, because you can't do that to your heart because it's just too much on it. And as a non-runner at the time, like I know that that's something that you need to do. I just wanted to bring that up because it's, for me, I was like, I am not physically fit, but being able to outrun someone on a diet that you're just transitioning into, and you're clearly a good like 20, 30 pounds more in weight than they are and shorter than they are. I think that is a really good um, portrayal of what this diet can do for me or for anyone.